What's up, family? Welcome to Positive Power XXI, J. Royce Films. I'm Jerry Royce Live, and you're watching The Red Room with Shay Samuels, right here on Music Vision Television. That's right, MVTV-21.com. It's going to be awesome, y'all. So please share this file. It's going to be awesome. You know what's going to be? It's going to be lit. Rolling tape. Ready when you are.
Welcome to another episode of The Red Room. I am your host, Shay Samuels, and we have an amazing show for you all today. So stay tuned. We have two amazing guests, and we have an amazing topic. First, we have Reverend Red in the Red Room. Y'all give it up.
Right. That's right.
Initially, it was a bit of a tongue twister, so we don't like take 3. And we have Lady Crystal with him as well. They are a beautiful item. And I'm telling you guys, we are going to have an amazing conversation. So listen, today we are talking about the shifting. We are all going through it. Ecclesiastes 3 reminds us that everything there is a season. But we have to understand the power of the shift. So first, let me ask our guests, how are you both today?
We are wonderful, phenomenal.
Yes, that's great.
And in the middle of a shift.
Yep.
Oh,
we went through
so
that freeze. We went through that freeze last week.
Yes.
Yeah, so we out of it now, like, woo.
Wow.
Yeah,
So I'm originally from up north and kind of miss having the snow until something like this happened. And then I said, nope, I'm not interested in being up there. It was like back to back. So I can't say that it's beautiful to look at.
Yes, it's beautiful.
I'll watch it on TV.
It's beautiful. Now you can turn things on YouTube. If you want the fireplace, you just turn it on YouTube.
Turn it on. Yes.
You turn it on YouTube. And so I think I'll stick with the YouTube. But thank you both for being on the show. We have a powerful discussion today, and it's going to be amazing to see what comes out of this. And as always, I pray that it will bless someone watching it today. But today we're talking about the power of shift. I did a message a long time ago, probably about a year ago, but I did a message on shift. And for some reason, it just came back on me today. And I was thinking about how, when I was younger, I used to drive a shift vehicle. And it had 5 shifts. And if you know how to drive a shift car, you have to shift in order for you to go into the next gear. In order for you to actually go into the next, in order for you to drive without you burning your engine out. Come on, y'all.
Yeah. All right, come on.
Yes.
Come on.
Burn the engine out. You have to shift. And so in this message, I was talking about how I would have to go in the first gear, and I had to learn how to use my pedal and brake at the same time to get to the second gear. And how many times did I burn out a clutch before I actually learned it? Right? How many times? And so the power of shift is just that. If you are not necessarily prepared, but if you're not shifting when it's time, you are risking burnout.
Come on now.
We're going to talk about that today. Reverend Red, I'm going to start with you. What do you have to say about the power of shift?
Well, the power of shifting is kind of it's kind of scary. That's the number one thing. Whenever God calls you or asks you to shift, because we have gotten so comfortable, we don't want to make that move. Because we don't know where we're going to shift to or what's there, we don't want to make that move. Let's go back and this was Black History Month. Let's take slavery, right? A lot of slaves, I think they said like 70 to 80% of the slaves that were free didn't want to shift to freedom.
Right.
So, they didn't want to shift. They didn't want to make that move.
Yeah.
Because of the unknown.
Yeah.
Many of us today, the enemy have us in bondage, have us in a certain situation, and God is calling you and opening the door for you to make a shift, to make a move. But because we don't know where God is taking us,
Yeah.
And, you know, God knows, but we don't know. Since God ain't told us and we don't know, then we are nervous about the shift.
Yes.
How can we be nervous about where God is taking us?
But here's the thing. So you said that God, so, well, first of all, we all know there's a such thing as discernment. And so our steps are already ordered. Now, God might not have shown us the full plan, of course, because if God shows us the full plan, then why would we even need God? Why would we even desire God? So he's not going to show us the full plan. But we just talked about this on another episode, that there's a seed. I called it the believe seed on one of my messages.
Okay.
There's a believe seed that is in all of us at the time that we're born. And so with that comes vision. And although we may not shift because we don't know what God has for us, the operative word is God has something for us.
Right.
Yes.
So if we trust that God has something for us, and we know, and that belief seed in us says, whatever God has for us is good. It's time to shift.
That's right.
Lady Crystal, what do you have to say about it?
I can think about what made me shift. What is it? What happened? You know, and a lot of times we go through chaos. There might be something that causes us to shift. And it might be, I remember driving my first shift gear car, and I learned in the parking lot before I purchased the car because it was so much cheaper. And the throttle, if I took my foot off the throttle, I would jerk. And so there was a jerk in my life when I lost the highest paying job that I had. And I was sitting there crying, saying, somebody is telling me I need to go to church. So we all have different throttle actions that happen in our lives. And it could be a wreck. It could be a breakup. You know, mine was a loss of a job, and it caused me to shift. It caused me to seek the one that created me. And so a lot of times we get stuck. Our throttle is caught, we stall because of what happened, you know, because of the assault or because of the loss of job, whatever that is. Sometimes you get stalled and you really should keep moving forward. Even though you got stalled, even though that throttle went off and you got jerked around, that is your shift. That is your indication that a shift has happened in your life.
Yeah, I love that you said that, because here's the thing that I really have to understand, even for me. When I was driving the vehicle, like you said, I learned on my own. I didn't know anything about a shift. The car was given to me. My dad actually said, if you want the car, you got to get the brakes in, you got to get a clutch. And so I was determined to get a brake and a clutch. I learned on the highway. What I used to do is I used to keep it in neutral. I knew like with the car speed. So when Reverend Red said you get comfortable, here's how comfortable I got with the learning process. I used to keep it in neutral, and I could feel the level of the car and what we're going to based off of the level, based off the rev of the car. So if you've ever driven the shift, you know that when you, and it was like, I got accustomed to what I heard. And so
got accustomed,
going gear based off of what I heard. I don't know if it was tearing the car up or not. I just know that's where I learned on the highway. That's what I learned. So I learned that I had to stay in neutral. And then when it was time for me to drive, I would go into that. I would go, oh, I thought I had it. I thought I had it. Maybe a month later, that engine, that thing was all burnt out. And so, like you said, Lady Crystal, we risk that burnout, that jerk. There's a jerking that happens in our lives that's going to push us back into gear. And so the shift, one thing that I can say, you both know this, I'm going to come back to you, Reverend Red, but the shift is inevitable.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yes.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Go ahead, Reverend Red.
Yeah, but she forgot to tell you about the greatest shift in her life when God shifted her over to me, when she met me, you know, but we put that on another show, okay, the marriage ministry show, you know, but yeah, but when the thing about shifting is that it's always a challenge. It's always, God knows, like I said, and we don't know, you know, and I go back to even further back from slavery to the children of Israel when Moses came, right? when Moses came, and you're about to shift now, but even when they were shifting, they had to go through some situation to get to the ultimate move and the ultimate shift of the promised land. God has something somewhere for all of us to shift to, something better. But because we are spoiled, because we are comfortable, we think that's laying up here under Pharaoh is okay, is comfortable. And why do we have to go through all that to get to someplace better when we can just stay right here?
Do I hear an accent?
Oh yes.
We can't talk with the polite and the to talk, you know, but we can't
do it right now. It came out when he got serious. It came out. I'm like, wait a second.
Yeah.
I'm turning around and find out if somebody was on the other side of me.
Nah, that's him. Kingston, Jamaica.
Okay.
Kingston, Jamaica, yes.
I hear, well, ladies and gentlemen, look, we are full of surprises on the
That's
red.
Right. That's right. Hey, God shift me from Jamaica. God shift me from Jamaica to the United States.
Oh my goodness, we are full of surprises. If you are just tuning in, we are with Reverend Red on the Red Room and Lady, goodness,
Crystal, Lady
Catherine. He's throwing me off. I know who it is, but he threw me.
No dreadlocks, no dog skin.
Right, exactly.
A Jamaican with freckles.
Lady Crystal, you said something too that was profound, because in May 2020, I was with the company for about 5 years and I was making really good money there. And they, within the pandemic, they actually utilized an opportunity to downsize in the pandemic. And so my department that I managed was the first department to go.
Wow.
Of course, I was the first person to go, but I'm going to tell you, the day afterwards, God had already shown me in the month of February, really the month of October, to start saving different, right? And so I didn't do that in October. Okay. But in February, it came back and I said, okay, well, I'm going to start saving differently. Here I am thinking, I give everything to this job. I'm working the long hours. I'm doing everything I need to do. So there's no way that they would even have a reason to let me go. But you know what? There was already a plan behind the scenes. The shift was already in preparation. And what I had to do was be obedient to what I heard, which was to save differently. I didn't know why. I just knew I needed to. But once I heard it the second time, I was obedient to that. The first time, I'm like, I'm gonna be good because I've been on this company.
Don't want to shift. Yeah.
When I was let go, I'm gonna tell you something. I realized that was a shift. I realized that was my push. So I don't even say terminated. I don't say let go. I say I was pushed, because I realized, like Reverend Red said, I got comfortable. I got comfortable. I realized that there were certain things that were beneficial to my ministry under one boss, but the players changed.
Yes, come on.
The players changed. And when the players changed, the shift was inevitable. And so here I was comfortable. And when I got comfortable, God said, no, I'm running a profitable business right now. I have a very successful ministry. And I understand now that it was because I decided, I'm not even telling y'all the truth on the Red Room. I didn't decide. I was pushed into the shift.
Yes, come on.
I was pushed into the shift. So Reverend Red, let's talk about that push when people are going against the current. And you know you holding on to the pole and the wind is blowing and you trying to hold on to everything that you got.
That's true.
Trying to hold on to everything. You got legs up in the air and you just don't want to let go. But the shift being inevitable, talk to that person that's trying to go against the current, holding on to that pole and every single thing that they have. And God is saying it's time to shift.
And some of your guests might get mad at me right now because I'm talking about like single ladies that's still holding on to a man 13, 12, 15 years. My wife and I always talk about that. I'm like, what are you holding on to? God is about to shift you. Some shifts are major, some shifts are minor, but every shift is important. Okay. Some shifts take you to another country, to another state. Some shifters take you around the corner to another job. So wherever God moves you, my wife always tell me this, baby, are you ready to move? As a preacher, you got to be able to shift, be able to move. wherever God wants you. And sometimes I'm spoiled. That's why I can say this. I'm like, oh, baby, I ain't going nowhere. I'm staying right here and minister right here. I was in South Dallas for the longest ministering. Hey, wow. God said, let's move north. And my wife kept saying that. And I'm like, well, this is good. I'm comfortable. We got our building. It's paid for. We are right here. God uprooted us. And guess what? Shift.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. We had to move. And God has blessed the whole move and continue to bless. So we have to do the same thing in our lives. You know, when God touch, when God speaks, when God talks, stop listening to people.
Yes. Yeah.
Stop listening to people.
Yeah.
And listen to God. And when she hears God, people say, well, no, girl, don't do that. Don't go out and get that business. Don't go out and write that book. Don't go out and do that, whatever. Okay. Let people speak positive in your life. If God is asking to move, girl, you better move. Say, my man, you better move. Because God, I'm not going to be the one to hinder you from shifting and moving when you hear the voice of God.
So it sounds like it's time to shift from those friends.
God will do that too.
Yeah,
God will do that too.
The whole circle needs to change. Yes. You know, the primary thing here is that there is so much power in the shift. And because a lot of people are afraid, like you said, we've gotten so comfortable with just being status quo. Here's another thing that we've gotten comfortable with, what it looks like.
Yes.
We have so much in front of us with social media. There's so many people pretending to be something that they're not. And a lot of people see with their eyes, this person has shifted. And guess what? It's because the status changed.
That's right. That's right.
Yes.
Lady Crystal, the status changed.
Yes.
So here's what they see. So you now see your friend who's like, I'm a homeowner. You don't know what it took for them to get it.
That's
you don't know what they went through. You don't know what they cried about at night.
Stop it. Stop it.
Absolutely.
Stop it now. Wow. Stop it.
You know, we when I told my husband it's time to move, we were moving. God said for us to move from our house. We had been in our house for 17 years.
Didn't want to move.
So we passed that halfway mark. And so I'm like, God said for us to move. And my husband's like, where are we moving to? I said, I don't know. But God said for us to move.
She started packing stuff.
I'm the only one.
I come home, she started packing. I'm like, what are you doing?
I'm the only one in the house packing. My son is like, my mama crazy. What she packing for? We not moving. My son was like, no, this is my house. You know, we're not moving. I'm like, God said for us to move. So he made us uncomfortable in our home. Things started shifting. Our house literally started shifting. And so I'm looking at cracks and I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, we got to fix this foundation. And God was like, no, you need to move. You need to move. So when I said, okay, we're moving, it took 3 days. You didn't hear me. It took 3 days. Our house was on the market for 3 days and we sold it. And then we were like, where are we going to move? It was in an uncomfortable time. We had a vacation and a basketball tournament because we do a basketball ministry with underprivileged and overprivileged kids. We bring them together.
Mighty King.
Okay, good.
Mighty King
I like
basketball. And so some of them have never played with other races until they came.
I like that.
Never interacted, never spent the night over anybody else's house, but that's another story. But in the midst of that, we had the trip, we had the house of our house for sale. We had to pack. Guess what? We didn't have a place to go.
Wow.
But God.
Yeah.
And we moved into an apartment and we're like, people are going, you said status quo. People are going to look at us like, why are they at that age living in an apartment? They had a house. What happened? So a lot of times in this Christian walk, people are like, you have to have this. You have to have this title. You have to have this much. You have to drive this kind of car in order to be successful. And so it was looking like we were unsuccessful.
That's right.
But we were in the shift of God.
That's right.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. Wow. Look, the two of you are blessing me, and I know that someone is watching this today, and you may not have realized that you were in the midst of your shift, But if you've heard what we talked about, listen, you are in the midst of your shift. The shift is inevitable. You need to stop holding on to the pole.
That's right.
Let the wind just blow you. Like, let us blow it for you.
That's right.
Yes.
Let the wind just blow you, because it is inevitable. And here I am, you know, I laugh while you guys were talking, because it's like, kind of, you got to practice what you preach. You're talking, and I realize I'm in the midst of a shift. Mm-hmm. You know, while you're talking, I'm realizing I'm in the midst of a shift. And for me, sometimes I'm like, God, another one. You know, I'm like, I feel like an army brat sometimes, because I'm always uprooted. And because I'm always moving, and I'm always, you know, it's like, when do I get a break? You know, I just want to settle. you know? But I realize that the shifts are inevitable. There's ever changing environments around us. Shift, like you said, Reverend Red, you know, you got to look at changing your circle. Don't be afraid of, because you grew up with these people and they were in high school with you.
Come on now.
You pinky swear to be friends all your life. You know, you guys did elbow spit, whatever you did. Here, our reality is that when you say yes to God, things are going to change in your life.
That's right.
I tell people this all the time. For some reason, we've been brainwashed to believe that everything of God is warm and fuzzy. But we go on a battlefield. We're on a battlefield. And that's not to scare the person watching today. Well, why would I want to follow God if I'm always on the battlefield? Here's the reality of the battlefield. You come out stronger.
We win.
Come out bolder. Look, go ahead, Reverend Red. Say it again.
We win. That's the reality of the battlefild.
Yes.
We win. I don't care what the situation might look like. We win at the end. Let me go back to you a little thing about shift also. A lot of times, here's another problem we have with shifting. We are jealous of somebody else's shift.
Wow.
Because their shift was quicker. They didn't take as long to get where they are. It's taking me a long time. So instead of finishing the shift, let me go back to where I was. Okay.
Wow.
And so we do shift envy. Okay. How did Shay get on TV so quick? How did she get all that so quick? And we trying, and we haven't there yet. God's supposed to be shifting us there, and we're not there yet. And people get jealous of someone else's shift instead of glorifying God and say, God, if you took her there, if you moved Jerry where he is, if you took my neighbor, my friend, guess what? I'm looking for you the same thing with me, but do it on your time, God.
Yes.
You know, the children of Israel could have went a shorter route to get to the promised land.
Yes.
A whole lot shorter route. They didn't have to do what they did.
Yes.
They said, why is Moses shifting us up there? Yeah. We can shift down here and be a whole lot quicker. Yeah. That's not what God has for you. Yes. That's not the journey that God has for you. Each one of us have our own different journey. Absolutely. And you know what that makes, Shay? When we have our own different journey, it gives each one of us our own different testimony.
Yes.
See, our testimony is not like your testimony.
Yes.
See what I'm saying? You got a different shift testimony than what we have.
Yes.
You see, and that's what God is saying. So don't be envy of nobody else's shift. No matter if it's quick overnight, you might like, boom. But they did it quick. What's wrong with us? God has his time. He's working with you. You just let God do what he has to do in his time frame.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, it amazes me. It amazes me because the number one group of people that have the biggest challenge with the shift are the believers.
Look at her. I'm about to stand up and run around.
Did you see their faces?
Yes. And why is that?
Why is that?
Why is that? Yes. Because we are not taught that in church. We're taught that it's you're supposed to be rich and wealthy and you're supposed to have all quick. Everything is supposed to be, you pray for it and you get it. But when Jesus came, if I'm not mistaken, he went from city to city.
Yep.
He went from place to place. That's shifting. He taught his disciples how to shift. They shifted from disciples to apostles. The shift happened, and he taught them to shift. He taught them to shake the dust from their feet. He didn't teach them to stay in one place. He never told anyone Wow. Where in the Bible did he say, sit down and be still? He said, go.
Yeah.
Go. The Great Commission was for everyone to go, but people get comfortable. And in Moses' time, Moses was moving the children of Israel in what? In tents. There was nothing permanent in that 40 years. They were moving in tents. Now, when God wants you to settle down, he'll give you a house that you did not build. He'll give you land that you didn't. Come on, somebody. He shifts you.
He's going to give you that fur coat that you ain't know was going to come out of that bedroom for your photo shoot.
Boy, here we go with that fur coat.
Well, I do want to end with saying this. Like a caterpillar is meant to turn into a butterfly. I did a study, and that study said that if a caterpillar lives past its life expectancy before turning into a butterfly, it will die. The caterpillar is only designed to live at a certain weight, and living beyond the butterfly time frame, that season of turning into the butterfly, it is surely to die. So if you're watching this today, know that it is time for you to shift. You have heard it here from the three of us, and we have been through our own shifts. We have our own testimonies, but at the end, Reverend Red said it best: we win. So I want to thank you all for tuning in. I want to thank you both for being my guests on the Red Room.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for having us.
I really appreciate it. And I pray, as always, that this has blessed you, the viewer, today. I'm Shay Samuels, the host of the Red Room, and I want to thank you all for tuning in. And until the next show on the Red Room, we will see you guys soon.
Bless you guys.
Bye.
This is Paula G. Boyce, aka Lady Wisdom with Endurance. The unimaginable happens, and you have no idea how you'll make it through. Sometimes you feel as though you don't even want to bother. Yet we all have those moments at one point in time or another. There is life on the other side of that storm. Those moments when you must dig deep within and find the strength to endure. Rise from the ashes. There are those moments when you can't see beyond the moment. There are those moments when you don't want to hear. There's life on the other side of this. Because this is so traumatizing, you can't see it. How we choose to manage our circumstances is totally a ball that is in our court. We fall down, but we get up. We plunge to the deepest, darkest part of our being, but something inside of us longs to survive. We find ourselves fighting to rise out of the darkness. It's a slow journey, but we eventually see the light at the end of the tunnel. I always say that every day we wake up is an opportunity to set an example. It's an opportunity to change things. It's an opportunity to do better, to grow, and to heal. Someone made the analogy about eating an elephant one bite at a time. Now, literally, we're not in the habit of eating elephants. But when faced with inconvenient situations, impossible situations, we must take one step at a time, one day at a time. We all have endured some situations in our lives that has almost taken us to the point of no return. If we take our eyes off the moment and focus on where it is we desire to be, our goal, our destiny, we can take necessary steps to see our way through difficult times. Now, sometimes it may take therapy, prayer, meditation, and daily affirmations that help you make it through. Our lives are so full of difficult moments, but we must focus on the good times, the great events, the joys. As with any storm, tornado, hurricane that leaves destruction in its path, life goes on afterwards. Life may not ever be the same. Life may look different, but as long as we are living and breathing, we have life. Be encouraged and
changing your direction. Sometimes the trials of life can knock you to the floor. So hold your head up high, God will lead and guide you. He won't leave you, so please hold on and never give up, never give in. You're closer to the top.
Welcome to My Journey with Paula G, where we all are juggling this journey called life while walking in the gifts and the talents that God has given each and every one of us, and that includes you. I'm so glad that you've tuned in to watch or listen to My Journey with Paula G. And we want to thank our underwriters, because without our underwriters, this would not be possible. So we appreciate them so very much. And I appreciate each and every one of you who tune in each and every week. If this is your first time on the journey, welcome. I'm so appreciative that you're with us and that you've joined us. If you're returning, welcome back. I hope all has gone well, and we just appreciate. I know I say that all the time because I'm really a strong believer in showing appreciation. We just really appreciate each and every one of you. I say it every week because those of you who have watched, you know what I'm about to say, right? So come on, let's go. Time is precious. It is the one thing that you cannot get back. So for you all to think it not robbery to spend this time with us, we appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate you listening. So thank you so very much. I'm getting feedback from a lot of you who are saying how much they are enjoying the show. So I thank you. I thank you. I thank you for that. Now, if you're interested, some have reached out and have inquired. If you're interested in being an underwriter and you're looking to expand your exposure for your business, product, or service, you can email jerryvoicelive@gmail.com or paula@paulagvoice.com and put My Journey in the subject line for further inquiries about underwriting. And also, if you have a question, comment, concern, or if you are interested in being a guest, you can also email jerryvoicelive@gmail.com and paula@paulagvoice.com. Again, My Journey in the subject line. And we appreciate you all so much. Also, I would love for you all to stay connected with me. I am Paula G Voice across all social media platforms. Website is Paula G Voice. Make sure you hit up my website and click that subscribe button so you can be a part of our mailing list and keep up with our weekly newsletters. I usually send one out once a week, and if I don't have anything to say, then I don't clutter your email and send one out. But I usually send something out to you all once a week. I want to continue to encourage you all as you all juggle this journey, as we all juggle this journey. There are so many obstacles. There are so many things that get in our way and distract us from doing what it is that God has called us to do. But I want to encourage you to stay focused. If you have to put Post-it notes all around your house for you to stay focused on what it is that God has called you to do, put the Post-it notes around your house in each and every room. I said each and every room. Yes, that includes the bathroom. Put those notes up so you can stay focused, because we've got so many distractions, and God has placed so much inside of each and every one of us. And we are tasked to do what it is that He has called us to do, and that He has put in us, those things that He has birthed. So I hope that encourages you, and I hope that helps you today. And I know my guest is going to encourage you. I know my guest is going to help you today and bless you. You might want to get paper and pencil. You know, I tell you all that sometimes. Get paper and pencil. You might want to take notes, and you definitely want to write down her contact information so you can stay connected. But this young lady today is a motivational speaker. She's a success coach. She's the creator of Campaign Comeback. She's a family member of our Positive Power 21 family. She's Lady Crystal. She's Lady K. She's Mama Crystal. She's Coach Crystal. She's our guest today. She's here to bless us today. How are you, my sister?
Hello, hello. I'm excited to be here, and thank you for that wonderful intro.
You are so welcome. It is so deserving. And you know, it says a lot about the woman that you are, how you have all of these different titles that people in your life refer to you as. To me, that's a blessing, because it says that you minister to so many different people in so many different ways. And for someone to have not one term of endearment, but several terms of endearment is truly a testimony to all that you do and all that you pour into so many others. You've got so many irons in the fire, as the old folks say, and it's just really exciting to see, because it means that you are using those gifts and you're using those talents that God has given you to bless others and walk out your journey. And one of them is a project that you're working on now, Made to Lead Millions. Made to Lead Millions. Tell us a bit about Made to Lead Millions.
Made to Lead Millions is my best work as of yet.
I like that, as of yet.
As
Which
of
means
yet.
there's more to come.
God gave me a Bible study called Preparing to Lead. And I was okay with that. I taught it. It was a 16-week course. And it was really exciting. People really began to follow me. During that time, I was doing Facebook Live and live on IG. And then God told me, Made to Lead Millions. And I said, Lord, Made to Lead Millions? Okay. And he was like, this is the book that's coming from that Bible study. And so I thought, wow. And I argued with him. I argued with God. No way. I don't have 1 million followers. I don't have all of that going on. I'm not that great influencer. And God said, Made to Lead Millions. I prepared you for it. So Preparing to Lead was the story of Moses in Exodus and how he led the children of Israel out of Egypt. But God said he was a stutterer. He had imperfections, and we all have imperfections. And so one of the greatest fears is being a leader. And so that's what this book is about. It's connecting my 30 years in corporate America and the story of Moses. And so I give real life, candid, authentic stories of what has happened to me in corporate America as far as microaggressions, racism, ageism, just different types of sexual harassment, different types of things that I've gone through, and then use it in comparison to the leadership characteristics of Moses. So it's definitely a must read.
And it's so interesting because a guest that we had on another show, we were talking about his journey of where he was to where he is and how he's utilizing where he was to encourage and bring others as well to where he is. And as you were sharing, I was hearing the same things, your experiences in corporate America, how you've taken those experiences, learned the lessons and so forth that you've learned from those experiences, and you're using that to help others, draw others closer to Christ, and really expand your ministry through that. So that's exciting. That is exciting to hear, and that's made to lead millions. That's
millions. Yes.
You are
made to lead millions.
Wow.
Wow.
So you mentioned your 30 years in corporate and what it is that you're doing now, and you have another project because you're of course involved in the church and so forth. Tell us a little bit about that and your project in regard to First Ladies and what your vision is. Yes,
Campaign Comeback. As I know, a lot of people have dealt with church hurt. As a First Lady, I have dealt with church hurt. And that's something that most people don't think of, the pastor or the First Lady or the First Family having church hurt. That's how this particular campaign came about. I was campaigning for you, for us, to come back, not only to the Lord, but to our families, to be kind and loving to one another. It was about coming back to the true you. And I know after getting hurt, talked about, abused, and then it evolved and reached further outside the church. And it reached to the corporate offices, it reached to families. And then I just began to campaign just for families to come together, marriages to come together. And so that's how Campaign Comeback started. And it's a group coaching that I have developed to help people get the best you back, to help them believe better. That's one of my major things in coaching, is getting people to believe better, getting over the trauma, getting over the offense or the abuse or the oppression. And it's about coming back to the best and the most amazing you. And with doing that, I found that first ladies in particular need a safe place and a safe haven to be able to talk, pray, cry, get restored and healed, and then go back into that front line. So through that evolution of Campaign Comeback, I also wrote a book. I was part of a compilation of other first ladies. And so that gave me the idea to have conferences and also do my own compilation of first ladies coming together as a campaign to help other women come back and become their best you. So that will be coming in 2022.
And it's so fascinating and exciting to hear as well, because like you said before, a lot of times we are stifled by those experiences that we can't get past, and
Yes.
a lot of times we don't pay enough attention to that. We just, oh, I'll just deal with it, or it happened, it is what it is, and I'll just move on. But those things settle in our subconscious, and they affect how we interact with others, how we feel about ourselves, and like you said, kind of changing that conversation, getting them
Yes,
to,
that mind.
yeah, and getting them to see and understand, the beauty in each and every one of them, and then taking it a step further and having that resource for first ladies, as well is just very exciting, and having these different platforms, conferences, summits, and so forth. And I understand that you're probably always looking for speakers.
Yes,
To join. Can
we
you
are
share a little
always
bit?
looking for speakers. We're always looking for even writers, because there are several writing, like I said, Campaign Comeback, First Ladies. I'm definitely looking for you to connect with me. And you can do that by going to crystalhenry.net or email me at coachcrystalhenry@gmail.com. Those are ways that you can reach out and get a hold of me.
Yes, awesome, awesome. You have all these hats that you wear. You are married, so it's a team effort. So tell us a little bit about that team effort, and also tell us a bit about what you feel is the key to the success of your marriage.
Well, 25 years of marriage. We have been married a little over 25 years. And this was not our first marriage. It was our second marriages for both of us. And what we didn't have in our first marriage was God. And definitely what we have in this marriage is God as pastors. We are first generation pastors. So that's very different. Neither one of us set out to be pastors. We did not know that God was going to shift our life and change our lives miraculously and quickly. We met in August 31st of 95 and married August 31st of 96.
Wow.
So it was quick. And we began our ministry together September 10th, 2000. So nobody can do it like the Lord can. And we definitely need God. And the greatest thing that I can say that really solidifies our marriage is laughter and fun and the Lord. We also are on TikTok, and I know,
that is refreshing.
Pastors on TikTok, what are they doing?
I love it. That is so refreshing. That is so refreshing. So share with the audience how they can stay connected with your social media and website.
Definitely. You can connect with our church at powerofthegospel.org. And also, if you want to connect with us on TikTok, it's Team Sexy with 3 X's and a Y. And we did that purposely to be that name that people would say, wait a minute, what are they doing? And it's total fun. We're dancing, we're lip singing, we have little skits, and it's just been a great time. Addition to ministry, because we do minister on TikTok live on Sundays. So they can check live on Facebook, live on TikTok on Sundays. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. You know, our time just flies by. It seems like we've only been talking for a couple minutes. But thank you so much for sharing your journey. Thank you so much for your encouragement and sharing all of the ways that you're using your gifts and your talents to continue to bless and keep others. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you reach out to our guest here, Lady K, Lady Crystal, Coach Crystal. She's got all these different names. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. We're so happy to have her, and so happy that she's also part of our Positive Power 21 family as well. So you can stay connected with her through her podcast and the variety of platforms that she has mentioned. Well, so we thank you so much for joining us. Our underwriters, we love you. We thank you. We appreciate you for joining us as well. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, the greatest conversation that you will ever have is the one that takes place in between your ears. What are you speaking to yourself? Is God a part of that conversation? And are you listening to his still small voice? Until next time, embrace the journey.
Sometimes the winds of life keep changing your direction. Sometimes the trials of life can knock you to the floor. So hold your head up high, God will lead and guide you. He won't leave you, so please hold on and never give up, never give in. You're closer to the
This is Paula G. Boyce, aka Lady Wisdom with Endurance. The unimaginable happens, and you have no idea how you'll make it through. Sometimes you feel as though you don't even want to bother. Yet we all have those moments at one point in time or another. There is life on the other side of that storm. Those moments when you must dig deep within and find the strength to endure. Rise from the ashes. There are those moments when you can't see beyond the moment. There are those moments when you don't want to hear. There's life on the other side of this, because your this is so traumatizing, you can't see it. How we choose to manage our circumstances is totally a ball that is in our court. We fall down, but we get up. We plunge to the deepest, darkest part of our being, but something inside of us longs to survive. We find ourselves fighting to rise out of the darkness. It's a slow journey, but we eventually see the light at the end of the tunnel. I always say that every day we wake up is an opportunity to set an example. It's an opportunity to change things. It's an opportunity to do better, to grow, and to heal. Someone made the analogy about eating an elephant one bite at a time. Now, literally, we're not in the habit of eating elephants. But when faced with inconvenient situations, impossible situations, we must take one step at a time, one day at a time. We all have endured some situations in our lives that has almost taken us to the point of no return. If we take our eyes off the moment and focus on where it is we desire to be, our goal, our destiny, we can take necessary steps to see our way through difficult times. Now, sometimes it may take therapy, prayer, meditation, and daily affirmations that help you make it through. Our lives are so full of difficult moments, but we must focus on the good times, the great events, the joys. As with any storm, tornado, hurricane that leaves destruction in its path, life goes on afterwards. Life may not ever be the same. Life may look different, but as long as we are living and breathing, we have life. Be encouraged and This is Paula G. Voice, aka Lady Wisdom, with Beyond the Moment. It's sometimes difficult to see beyond the moment when you're in the midst of a crisis. But sometimes the vision of being beyond the moment is the very thing that may be needed to get you through the moment. Our society is laced with so many overwhelming events. It seems like they come one right after the other, and they don't allow you the space to breathe or recover. We get so burdened, discouraged, and depressed that we often find it difficult to move on. There's a Bible verse that mentions weeping may endure for the night, but joy comes in the morning. Well, life can be like that as well. And the moment may be that of heavy times, but we must look beyond the moment with hope and faith. Look beyond the moment and keep hope alive. I'm Lady Wisdom, a sagacious lifestyle influencer, embracing my journey, sharing experiences along the way and challenging dreamers to do the same by breathing life into their deferred dreams and living out the reality. It's never too late to embrace your journey and live your dreams. Visit Paula's blog, paulagvoice.com/blog for the full journey. This is Paula G. Voice, aka Lady Wisdom. Some things a lady just has to keep to herself. Now, I know we've had this conversation before, but I'm still feeling some kind of way. Sometimes there is wisdom in silence. Some things a lady just has to keep to herself. It's part of her feminine energy. Sometimes we are so quick to let everyone know how much we know, we don't realize we are revealing too much of our business. Now, I gained knowledge from women in the Bible, women who have displayed strength, discretion, that came through having the wisdom to be silent at times, having the wisdom to not tell all that they know or are capable of in the moment. These women were not necessarily taught to read or write. However, through life experiences and their relationship with God, they gained the wisdom they needed to overcome obstacles and, in some cases, life or death situations. Now, some may say those were times of oppression for women, and you wouldn't be wrong. However, these were women that rose to positions of leadership as a result of knowing how to use that feminine energy. I mean, Deborah became a judge. Now I would dare say she didn't get there by telling all of her business. What's the benefit of silence, and how does it edify the situation? Sometimes in silence, we are in a position to gain more information or knowledge that will further assist us in that situation. It's just a thought. I am Lady Wisdom, a sagacious lifestyle influencer embracing my journey, sharing experiences along the way. I'm challenging dreamers to do the same by breathing life into their deferred dreams and living out the reality. Because it's never too late to embrace your journey and live your dreams. Visit Paula's blog, paulagvoice.com/blog for the full journey. This is Paula G. Voice, aka Lady Wisdom. Some things a lady just has to keep to herself. Now, I know we've had this conversation before, but I'm still feeling some kind of way. Sometimes there is wisdom in silence. Some things a lady just has to keep to herself. It's part of her feminine energy. Sometimes we are so quick to let everyone know how much we know, we don't realize we are revealing too much of our business. Now, I gained knowledge from women in the Bible, women who have displayed strength, discretion, that came through having the wisdom to be silent at times, having the wisdom to not tell all that they know or are capable of in the moment. These women were not necessarily taught to read or write. However, through life experiences and their relationship with God, they gained the wisdom they needed to overcome obstacles and, in some cases, life or death situations. Now, some may say those were times of oppression for women, and you wouldn't be wrong. However, these were women that rose to positions of leadership as a result of knowing how to use that feminine energy. I mean, Deborah became a judge. Now, I would dare say she didn't get there by telling all of her business. What's the benefit of silence, and how does it edify the situation? Sometimes in silence, we are in a position to gain more information or knowledge that will further assist us in that situation. It's just a thought. I am Lady Wisdom, a sagacious lifestyle influencer embracing my journey, sharing experiences along the way. I'm challenging dreamers to do the same by breathing life into their deferred dreams and living out the reality. Because it's never too late to embrace your journey and live your dreams. Visit Paula's blog, paulagvoice.com/blog for the full journey.
Come the boss lady, the Kelly Holland Show. Watch out, let's go. Here come the boss lady, the Kelly Holland Show. Let's drop it. Here come the boss lady, the Kelly Holland Show. Come on, she gonna get it right. Research all about your life. Her info's always tight, talking just to get inside. Gospel talking, Bible walking, wanna help you see. Faith is calling and she's walking with the victory. The king is on her side and she never quits. Put you on the show and you reminisce. Creative to the point where she's making hits. Business savvy is a Kelly, are you getting this? Come on, y'all.
Thank you for joining us and welcome to the Kelly Holland Show. I am so grateful and delighted to have our guest on today. You would never, ever imagine how lucky we are to have this guest today. I have Mr. Emmy Award winner, musician and actor, and that's just a humble title, for the lovely Harvey Morris. Thank you for being with us today, Mr. Morris.
Thank you. Thank you. Call me Harvey. I'm good. Thank you.
I sure will. Your resume is extensive. I mean, that sucker can roll to the floor, how long it is. And I'm so grateful to even be here with you, knowing that you have so much experience. Very, very surprised when I learned that you did the remake of the National Negro Anthem. You guys know what I'm talking about, the Lift Every Voice and Sing. I can't sing it, so we're just going to keep it right there. Lift every voice and sing. Harvey, could you let our watchers know who you are, other than what I just said, and what it is that you've really done?
Oh, well, my name is Harvey Morris. And first of all, I'm a child of the Most High King.
Yes.
And I'm grateful. I am a father. I'm a grandfather. I'm a musician. I'm an actor. I'm a drummer. And most of all, I'm just a person that loves doing what I do. And
that is beautiful.
I mean, is there anything else you want to know?
I mean, just go ahead and hit them in the head real quick with some of the things. Just throw out some big names so they can understand the magnitude of this meeting today.
Okay. Well, the most recent show that I worked on, I worked on the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel show, season 3, and I acted in there. And then I also was involved in The Greatest Showman. That was another movie I was involved in. Then prior to that, I was also in another movie called Begin Again with Keira Knightley and Mark Ruffalo, and The Greatest Showman, that was with Hugh Jackman, and this last, yeah. So, and I worked with artists like Cameo and Freddie Jackson, GQ. I did one hit with Stevie Wonder. Worked with well, there's a lot of artists I can't remember, but most of all, the greatest artist I'm working with is Skeet Jones.
Skeet Jones in the building.
Yeah, listen, I'm working with Skeet Jones. I produced some music with Skeet Jones. So, I'm looking forward to, Skeet doing some of the music that we did, and I'm excited. I'm
glad you are excited. Skeet, for those of you that have not had the pleasure, Skeet Jones is one of our new friends. He is represented by the lovely Jerry Royce. Batman is what I call him. And they just go around and just really bring happiness and education to youth and young adults through their puppet show. Skeet Jones is one of my best friends. He got so much swag.
I'm saying.
Okay, but he won't be my boyfriend. It's okay though. I'll get a text one day. I tell everybody, Skeet don't like me like that. So we
it's not that he don't like you. He's just so busy. That's
He's
all.
so busy. That's a great way to put it. That's a great way of putting it. You've been running this marathon of your career for so long. Did you think that in the beginning you would be where you are now?
The answer is yes. And the reason why I say yes is because, the power of thought is very powerful. And as a kid, I remember when I was 4 years old, I got my first drum set when I was 2, but when I was 4 years old, I imagined entertaining, like, I'm deep myself, like the Jackson 5 and the Temptations and groups like that. And I always wanted to entertain, and that has always been my life's goal and my life's journey. And I always imagined touring and being on big stages. and so I got that opportunity. So I actually, believe it or not, and I don't want to sound cocky because that's not it. You just asked me about my dream, and
Exactly.
so I see myself going even further than where I am today. I'm grateful for where I am, but where I'm going is even greater than that.
Oh, I love it. Praise God. Can you give us a little peek into that future? Just a little teeny peek.
Okay, I've already began to produce my own music videos, but I plan on producing my own movies.
Mm.
I already have my own record company. I'm already involved in education. If you ever go to my website, which is toughstuffpro.net, you'll see that my company is already organized in education. We do music production, we do video production, and so I already have an Emmy. I'm working on Grammys and Golden Globes and Oscars and things of that nature.
Okay. Okay. I'm
That's what's
hearing
going on.
you. Your production, Tough Stuff Productions LLC. I really like how you take the time to make your business work. No business can work without those fees being raised. But then you also have your beats and rhymes education, where
Yes,
you're just in the schools and it's all about leadership and work ethic and problem solving, and most importantly, collaboration. Um,
yes.
I think that's amazing. Is this a nonprofit?
Beats and Rhymes is not a nonprofit yet. I'm working on making it a nonprofit. However, I make it affordable for our young people. It's important that um, we place principle and people before profit, and
Absolutely.
and and,
Profit
and, and
comes.
I'll explain that. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
profit comes
because
that way. Go ahead.
yeah, but here's the thing. I I would like to do a nonprofit, but it comes with a whole nother set of responsibilities and things of that nature. And quite frankly, to be honest with you, the only reason why I haven't done a nonprofit is because it's a longer process, I'm okay with that. I'm in the process of making it a nonprofit, but today, it's a profit business, but it's about the young people. It's about, again, placing our people before profit. What I mean is that um, what we do in the Beats and Rhymes program is teach life skills, but we use music and the business of music to teach those life skills. It's
Hmm.
important that our young people know that we're in a time and an age where we have to do business. We have to do business. And doing business is not just saying, oh, well, I have a product, I'm going to sell it. Yes, that's cool. But you need to understand about your numbers. You need to understand about projections. You need to understand about uh, um, um, uh, your goal and goal setting. You need to understand what all of these important aspects of doing business, having relationships, and how one small relationship can lead to a bigger relationship, which leads to bigger relationships. So all of those things are absolutely important in what we do.
All right. I really like to hear the services that you offer. But I also help people set up their small businesses and nonprofits. And so I mentioned it specifically because of the LLC formation. You would definitely need to be converted to an incorporation, which isn't a hard process, it's just a paperwork process. But because you're not offering a product, but a service, and it's catered towards youth, and you're also teaching life skills and those other skills necessary, I would be happy to help you set up your nonprofit, because that way you can get the donations to keep it rolling. Anybody that already pays a service fee, that I know that money is transitioned right back into the business, which is what a
Right,
nonprofit is all about.
right,
Staffing and all of that, pay yourself first, of course, but we're not going to take the majority of the funds. We're going to put them back into the nonprofit so we can continue with the projects that you're doing and the services that you're offering to the youth and young adults. Um,
yes,
you get these donations, that could also help you further your mission, with a 501c formation. And so I would be happy to help you. If you want to move forward into that, I do it all day long. It's not expensive. And with under $1,000, you would have a nonprofit.
Okay, I accept.
All right. So yeah, that's just another way that mommy over here is trying to make some extra income. I told my son, I said, I got one hand down. I'm working on my other hand, son. And he was like, okay, all right. How many streams of income you need, mom? I said, listen, we gonna ask me that question again in a few more years. I said, I'm working on my toes. So hands and toes. I need at least 20 income streams. And I say that because I'm a single parent, not by choice, but by divorce, as one of my previous guests has said. And so I find this new place of life very rewarding because I'm able to do things that I never thought was possible. And I say that to segue over to you. Even though you had this dream, did you really think everything that you've been doing right now would really be possible? Like all of the movies and the music and the transition into these new experiences?
I believe that they could happen. I just didn't know how they were going to come.
Mm-hmm.
And again, each relationship led into something else. Like how I got into movies, I've always wanted to be in movies. I imagined being in movies, but it came in an most unlikely way.
How so?
Okay, well, I'll explain. I'm a musician. I've always been a musician. I worked in a wedding band. Okay, and one of my fellow colleagues in the wedding band also worked in movies. And one particular day, one of the music supervisors for the first movie I worked on, they were looking for a drummer that looked like a bodyguard. And he says, "Oh man, I think I got the perfect person." So he recommended me, and they went to my website. And that's why it's important to always have a website, have a social presence, social media presence.
Exactly.
Went to my website, and after going to the website, they saw my picture. They asked me to come and read that Friday afternoon. Friday afternoon, they would call me and say, "Hey, you're in. You have the movie." And then from there, that very same relationship from the movie allowed me to be in the post two projects that I've been involved in.
Congratulations to you, brother. I know it was nothing but a journey, and I'm grateful that you were able to share it with us. Do you contribute any religious faith and hope to your progress?
All the time. All the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my motto is seek ye first the kingdom of God and all its righteousness, and all things shall be added unto you.
That's good.
But understand that to whom much is given, much is required.
Okay. All right.
And understand and also know that in James 1 it says, you know, when we go through trials and tribulations of many kinds, but that trial and tribulation is going to produce perseverance, and that perseverance is going to produce that thing that you need in order to be successful. So you know, my whole foundation is based in the word. So yeah, that's who I am.
Shout out to you. I'm the same way. Had a goal. My original goal was just to be a speaker. Had no idea that through conversation I would get connected to Batman or Jerry Boyce, my producer. And then I started doing podcasts. Okay, I thought I was going to be in front of a different type of audience, a live audience, maybe small at first, that may grow over time. You know, I'm just trying to plan it out, and God had another path for me. He provided the resources, he made the connections, he provided the network, and I just had to be willing. Do you find that you're able to do the same thing just by being willing and available?
Listen, you put me to the door, I'm walking through it. In fact, I'm gonna kick the door open. I'm walking through the door. Okay? Listen, because
I say it all the time. People get to the door, won't even knock. I said, I'm gonna kick that sucker down.
Because you know what? The word says, "Go boldly before the throne."
Yes.
And what that means is not just going to the throne of God, but also going through the throne of greatness. Hallelujah. And in order to go through the throne of greatness, we got to be willing to step up and step in. Amen.
Praise God on that.
Hold on, don't get me started. Don't get me started.
Look, this is not a typical Christian platform, but I will never hide my faith. Okay, I will never hide my faith, especially when I get into a good vibe with somebody. I say, "Oh, it's a saint over here, Lord. It's a saint over here." I love to worship. Shout out to my home church. We open back up July 11th. I can't wait.
All right, awesome. Yeah, that's the interesting thing because my home church, we don't actually. I'm in New York, right? Well, I'm in New Jersey, but my home church is in New York, and we're not opening up until September, maybe late August. But in my church, because I believe in taking our talents and multiplying them. So in my church, I'm the drummer, but I also do sound. I also do lighting. And now I'm putting together the whole video production and video podcast, and well, not podcast, but we have Zoom and stuff like that. So I'm putting that whole thing together. I love doing that stuff. That's why one of the reasons why Brother Jerry Royce and I we get along so well, because that brother, he's no joke. That brother, I mean, he's got a whole television studio, whole radio studio. I'm like, that's what it's all about, And so, it's important that as people, we connect with other people that are like-minded,
Absolutely.
And in that, it's never ever about anything other than connecting, growing, and learning, and nurturing each other, and lifting each other up. It's all about that. That's what it's all about.
I couldn't agree with you more. And that right there is the greatest commandment, to love. All right? To love. Love comes in many forms, especially when it's not an intimate love. It comes in many forms. Sometimes it's just simply kindness. Okay.
That's right.
So, that's
Amen.
right.
Amen.
That's right. That is completely right. When were you approached to remake the Negro National Anthem, or was that just a project you worked on that just took off?
Well, no, I wasn't approached. I did it on my own. And the reason why I did it on my own is because I really got upset with the fact that as a people, we don't even know our own anthem, some of us. We know the first stanza. We don't know the second nor the third.
Nope.
Right? And so, right. And so it's important that we not only know that first stanza, but know the reason for that song, and then also know it all. We have to know it all. So for my remake was so that we can learn it all, and hopefully people can connect with it and really understand and identify with those lyrics and make it happen. That's what it's all about. It's about forward progress, and that's what Lift Every Voice and Sing is about. Coming together but making forward progress.
I like that. Very much so. Do you find the opportunities that you receive in the music world to be similar? No, here's the question I wanted to ask. Do you find the business to be the same in the music industry as it is in the movie industry?
The business is, I won't say completely different. There's certain aspects like bookkeeping and doing your numbers and budgeting, that's the same. But movies are actually on a larger scale. It's unfortunate that the way the music industry has been going, I think, I don't want to say that it's deteriorating, but it's in its present form. It's taken a whole nother, it's taken a shift. And that shift has created not necessarily the most pleasant for new and upcoming artists. Went from actually the music business went from actually selling CDs or albums and stuff like that. Now you're streaming, and unfortunately, the general public doesn't realize that yes, you have access to more music, but it shortchanges the artist overall.
Really?
Yes. So let me explain. So um, back in the day when you would download a MP3 or something like that, or purchase a song, a greater portion of that would go to the artist. With streaming, you get less than a penny per stream. So for an artist, in order to even get a penny, an artist would have to stream, the song would have to stream maybe 6 or 7 times just to get a penny.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's why they have millions and millions of views and things of that nature.
Exactly.
Wow. So I heard, wow. I heard there's this, and forgive me for not knowing the real term, but something like a robo-caller type of thing where they'll just
Bots. They're called
automatically,
bots. Yes.
so they'll just automatically play and play and play. But is that how artists get their numbers up, even though they may be superficial?
Well, they get their numbers up, but they're unreal numbers. And so therefore you have the algorithms that they recognize that they are bots. And so what ends up happening, like a Spotify, they will, change their algorithm every so often. And so therefore, that bot that was set up really is not actual numbers. And so therefore it minimizes the moment you start streaming. See, here's the thing. What the general public doesn't know is that when you subscribe to a company, the streaming company that you're subscribing to is getting the lion's share of the money. So yes, you have access to all of this music, but it's really not going. It's unfairly going to the streaming company and not the artist that you believe you're supporting. When
So I
you're
would
streaming
figure
that
the
music.
streaming company would pay for some type of rights to even play the music.
Oh no, they do pay rights. There are rights, but the portion by which they pay out is far less than what's due the artist.
That's terrible.
Yes, it is. Yes,
Does
it is.
this make does that type of methodology convert more musicians into the life of acting? Or is it just the opportunity?
I'm gonna tell you. I think the reason why many musicians convert to acting is because the money is better, the treatment is better, um, the just there's a greater and better experience in doing movies than you do and have music. However, me personally as a musician, I love music. I love doing what I do. You know, I've I've done what I've done for free. I'm not trying to do it for free no more, but I've
Okay.
done it for free. I've done it for free, but we're at a place you get to a certain place in life where you go, you know what, Lord, I thank you. And the word says that your talents will make room for you. And the word also says that a man is also worthy of his keep. Amen. And
Exactly.
so therefore, when
Amen.
okay, because we have to recognize, and this is the other thing I'm going to say. It is important for us to have our businesses, and it's important that our businesses grow and make money so that we can empower other businesses and other people that represent what we do and who we are. And see, and with that empowerment comes leverage. Because I'm not going to make this a race thing. I don't want to do that. But we, as the narrative, we have to dispel that narrative that black folks can't do business or things of that nature. We have to completely dispel that narrative because it's not right. It's not right. It's not accurate. You're gonna in business, you're gonna get folks of many different nationalities who will do right, and then you're gonna get folks who will do wrong. And that doesn't matter what your nationality is,
Correct.
or you know what I'm saying. You just got to learn how to identify folks who know how to do business, and let's do business. Amen.
Amen to that. I hate poor leadership. So definitely, you're just like, for what? You're an idiot, and I know. So yeah. So I'm not for everybody. So, but I'm for somebody. So there we go.
That's
It's
right.
been such a joy talking to you today, Mr. Harvey Morris. We are nearing the end of our show. So this is your opportunity to lead folks to your website and to any other projects that you have available right now. Plug away, sir. Especially, wait a minute, do you make more money if more people watch your show?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Plug away.
Okay. Well, listen. Please, I'm going to say, first of all, you can go to Tough Stuff Productions, LLC, and go to my website, which is toughstuffpro.net. and you get an opportunity to see what Tough Stuff Productions does. You can also go to our YouTube page, which is Tough Stuff Pro LLC. I'm sorry, Tough Stuff Productions LLC. Go to our YouTube page and click away at the music that's there. Click away at our videos that's also on there. Also, you can find Hardy Morris in the House of Praise, because I produce gospel music. You can find us on Apple Music. You can find us on Amazon. You can find us on Spotify. But when you go to Apple Music, go to iTunes and download the music. You can also come to my website, toughstuffpro.net, and go to my music page and download our music, because it's important. If you really want to support what we do as artists, if you really want to support what artists do, go to their website and download their music directly. I'm not just plugging myself, I'm talking about all artists. Most artists have a web page. Go to their web page, go to their website, and download their music directly if you want to support the artist, because that's where the artists will make their money. So you want to support me? Come to my website, toughstuffpro.net, and come get that money. Yeah, hey. In order for me to give back, I gotta have something to give. All right, come on. And let me see.
You just go back to regular.
Now, the other thing I want to say, hey, listen, I want to say, you definitely support Kelly Holland's show. Definitely support Jerry Roy's live, because, hey, there's power in this hour.
Yes,
amen.
God. Feel the power.
Feel the power. And don't forget about Skeet Jones. Because I got music coming with Skeet Jones. And Skeet Jones, I'm telling you, he's going to tell you, throw up your hands and wave. I'm just trying to let you know. Hey.
Oh, man, it's been such a joy to have you here. Thank you for sharing the business. Thank you for sharing your life. Thank you for your inspirational comments. It's been definitely an encouragement to have had you in my presence. My spirit is filled with joy and determination. I think I should go do more work when we get off of this interview.
Come on.
Which is always appropriate. People say, you ain't gonna do it. I got plenty to do. I'm just not doing it. But I need a break. But glory be to God that there's always an opportunity and availability to continue his work, to bring more sheep to the flock, to call upon those that may not be listening. No, you are welcome. You have always been welcome.
This is Paula G. Voice, aka Lady Wisdom, with Beyond the Moment. It's sometimes difficult to see beyond the moment when you're in the midst of a crisis. But sometimes the vision of being beyond the moment is the very thing that may be needed to get you through the moment. Our society is laced with so many overwhelming events. It seems like they come one right after the other, and they don't allow you the space to breathe or recover. We get so burdened, discouraged, and depressed that we often find it difficult to move on. There's a Bible verse that mentions weeping may endure.
Stories help us to understand the world around us. They allow us to laugh. They allow us to cry. They give us the ability to feel and provide us with an outlet to heal. Join me as I get to know some of the amazing people behind the stories that we read in order to truly discover the story that has been hidden within each of us. My name is Bree Smith, and this is the Author Push Talk Show. Welcome to the Author Push Talk Show. I am your host, Bree Smith, and today we have a phenomenal author who has a phenomenal organization. She is a children's book author. Her name is Judith Francois. Welcome to the show, Judith. I'm so excited to have you here today with us.
Thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you so much, Bree. Thank you for inviting me. I'm very excited, and thank you for the great introduction. And I can't wait for a chat.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. So can you tell our viewers just a little bit more about yourself?
Okay. Well, my name is Judith. Like you said, I was born in Haiti. I moved to Chicago, Illinois when I was 11 years old with, my mom and my family. And I've had like a love for writing ever since I was young, ever since I could remember. And so it's always been my dream. I went to college and I got my degree in journalism. And then back after years and years of like trying to write and dreaming about it, I also decided to go to school and get my master's in creative writing. So that experience was amazing, and I've written a lot. And then I also started getting, ideas for these children's books that I also, decided to publish one of them this year. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. I work in Chicago Public School. I have a early childhood education, the pre-K. So they're adorable and really sweet. So yeah, and I'm hoping to just keep publishing.
That's awesome. I love hearing that. We need more powerful, especially teachers, people of color going into the field of education, because I feel like we need to be able to teach our own children. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of things, especially if you know what's going on in the public school system. They got a lot of craziness that's going on. And I feel like we need more people, you know what I mean, like us, to teach our babies the right way and what to do. So I really commend you for that. And then also too, I did not know that you had a creative writing degree. So that's powerful too. So is your children's book your first book that you've actually written and published, or have you written other books as well? Or
yeah, I've written so many other books. I have things on my drive on my computer. But this is the first book that I published is actually my poetry book called Breakthrough to New Beginnings. It's a poetry collection. And, I was just kind of really like eager to put something out there, to put some of my poetry and test the waters basically. And then the children's book, this is my second book that that is published. But yeah, I as far as writing, I have a lot of things that I've written, and with the goal to like publish some of them.
Amen. I like that. That's powerful. So can you tell us a little bit more about your children's book, Meet the Three Princesses?
Yes, of course. So Meet the Three Princesses, this is how it looks inside and everything. It is the first book in a series of children's books. It's the Three Princesses series. And so for book number 1, we are introduced to the 3 princesses. Of course, we see their lives. And also we get the backstory of how they became known as the 3 princesses. And the story takes place in Haiti, my country of birth. And I wanted to showcase the culture. I wanted to show a different side of Haiti that most people are not used to seeing, which is the culture of like, how parents are so caring and loving to their children, and how they just, do like sacrifice so much for their kids, and also to show like just Haitian children, to humanize them and show them being kids, and to see that they're just like everybody else.
Right, that is so powerful. Yeah, because I know, I hate to say it, like mainstream media, every time we see pictures of Haitian kids, I either see them like in a garbage dump or in some like, rundown village, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Always needing care. So that's powerful. Like you wrote this book to help empower Haitian children, but not even just Haitian children, also other people, but I just love that. So that is so powerful.
Yeah.
So what inspired you to write this book?
There are a few things that inspired me. You know, as I told you, I work in pre-K, and in my classroom, we love books. The kids, like, they love books. We read to them every day, and we try to read diverse books, right? And so what I started to notice was that, like, we kind of, it was a little bit disproportionate, you know, the books that are diverse versus books that are, you know, with animals, or, because I have a very diverse class. My kids, I have kids who are immigrants, kids who are from all over the globe, right? So I was kind of thinking about, like, how our libraries should reflect the way that the kids look and their experiences. So that's one of my inspirations, because I want to see this book in schools all over the country, so that not only American children can see a book like that in the library, but also children of Haitian descent, children who are from different cultures and backgrounds, to kind of see something more positive about themselves. And I also wrote this book for, I'm sorry, I have my allergies, but I also wrote the book so that Haitian kids can also see themselves represented very positively in the media. And that's why it was important to me to translate it into French and Haitian Creole as well, and to send as many books to Haiti as possible. So yeah, I just want, children to just be happy, and to see themselves being represented.
Amen. That's powerful. That is so powerful. So I know you had you talked about it getting translated. Have you thought about translating it in like Spanish and other like languages as well?
Yes, it is translated into Spanish.
Cool.
Yeah, so we're working on putting the Spanish book up very soon, but it is done and everything. So it should be out hopefully in the next couple of weeks.
Okay. It's awesome. I love hearing that. Now, that process of translating, is that hard? Like, are you working with a specific person that helps translate, or do you find different people, and how does that process work?
Yes, for the Haitian and Creole translation, I found a great translator. He's also an author. His name is Jonel Juice, and he translated, both of them for me. He did a wonderful job, and I'm really glad that I found him. He was recommended to me. And then for my Spanish translator, I use Fiverr, but I also use I really was careful about who I choose, and the translator that I ended up working with did a great job as well. So, and she's very professional, and so that's how my process went. So yeah.
Awesome. See, guys. So everybody out there who is trying to figure out, how do I write a book? Where do I start? Like literally you can write the book, and literally you can use things like Fiverr. I know I've used Fiverr. Miss Judith has used Fiverr, but you definitely want to check people's credentials.
Right.
Check the work they've done. But yeah, definitely use them, because they are definitely an awesome resource. And I love that, because I've never thought about translating my book, but you have actually just helped me. So thank you for that tip.
Yeah.
So what motivates you to write children's books?
So to write children's books, I want to help, children, first of all, and through literature is one of the most powerful tools that we have to help children, to influence them, to help them dream, to help them build self-esteem, to help them understand that they're powerful, and that they can be anything that they want to. So that's really my number one motivation. I want children of color, I want Haitian children to see that their life doesn't have to be just exactly one way, or anything like that, that they can, dream big. So that's my biggest like motivation.
Amen. I love that. So what was the most fun about writing this book?
The most fun, I have fun like throughout the whole process, like from writing the very first draft and then editing it. And it's so funny how when you write something and then you don't look at it for like a while, and then you come back and you have so many like new ideas and things that you fun. But also another part of the fun for me was like the surprise that revealed at the end of like why they're called the Three Princesses, because that's actually based on something that I saw in Haiti for real. I don't want to ruin the surprise, but like if anybody's familiar with Haiti and how the buses are or public transportation, like the cars are like decorated in all kinds of colors and pictures, like artists just go all out when they're like doing when they're decorating these buses. So that's like that was definitely where I got that from, and it was just so fun to like see that come together and then coming alive with the illustrations. So yeah.
Oh, that is so powerful. I love hearing that. Something just came to mind. Have you like with your books, because I can really kind of see that like becoming something. Like, have you thought about like doing any animation with that as well, like cartoons or anything like that?
I would love to. As it's just that we would need I would need a lot of like sponsors and things like that, but that is I would definitely see that as a long-term goal, and with the movie that came out on Disney with Encanto.
No, because
I was like, oh my God. I'm like now aiming like for the highest, the biggest as I possibly can. So yeah, that would be
because that would be a dope movie. I would love to see that because we have Princess and the Frog, but I'm like, nah, come on, we can do better. That was a good movie though. It was a good movie.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
I love that. So what other, I know you were talking about you have written some other books too. So what else do you kind of have coming down the pipeline as far as books within your series and just a few other, I know you said you were writing other books as well outside of the series. Can you talk a little bit about that? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so book 2 and book 3 I've already written in the series for the Three Princesses. And so, before the year is over, my goal is to publish all 3 books in the series. And then I also have many other children's books that I've written that I'm really excited to, to put them together and to publish them as well. And right now there are 3 short books that I have written that I'm going to be working on that next with my editor and illustrators and stuff, trying to put that together to like publish them over the summer. So I'm really excited about that.
Amen. I love that. So what is like one of the most challenging things you have found to being an author?
The most challenging things as an independent author is there are so many things, like try not to get burned out because you have to do so much by yourself, like all on your own, right? And then even if you do trust some people, it may not always work out. And then also there's the money aspect of it because you have to fund your own books. So that's been kind of like the hardest part of like for me of publishing and being an author. Finding the right people, the right budget and marketing, and also doing it like all at like trying not to get burned out, So yeah, but it's like at the end it's worth it because it's very fulfilling to me.
Amen. Yeah. I know a lot of people when they first go out, and I know this has been my experience, like when I first started writing books, I'm going out there and I'm thinking like, okay, it's gonna be a cakewalk, and it's like, no, it's like like literally step by step, piece by piece, all the money that you have to put into it. A lot of people don't understand that when you become an author or you sign up to really become an author and publish these books, you have literally signed on to create your own business, right?
Exactly.
And people, if you don't really have business smarts or, you know what I mean, like really know how to navigate that, you will fail. And that's something that I have been learning my past, actually, I think I'm going on 3 years now. Just 3 years of being in this space of writing and publishing and all that. So yeah, and I love too that you have been able to actually oh my God, start like a Kickstarter and a GoFundMe and things like that to actually help, you know, raise money for your books. Cause you know, I never thought about that, but that is so powerful. I know one other person who has done that. So can you talk a little bit about that process? You know, how did you start it? Did you work with people to kind of help you build a campaign and talk more about like how that process was?
Oh yeah. So that was a very really a great experience that I'm glad that I did. But yeah, I actually got the idea from other authors that I met who were doing Kickstarters as well. And so we, you know, I listening to these authors, I decided to do mine because it's like my dream is to publish this book, but the illustrations is what, you know, really the main cost in there. So I put together a Kickstarter, and at first, like I didn't have a lot of people helping me. I had a lot of people who we did Zoom meetings. They gave me a lot of advice and things like that. And like the support was amazing from, you know, the community, like everywhere. So that was you know, something that I'm very grateful for. And it was also very hard, like because it wasn't 30 days and my goal was $10,000. So a lot of people were like, oh, that maybe, you know, it's going to be really hard to get $10,000 in 30 days. But I did it anyways. And I was out there like almost like every day doing everything that I could to get the word out there, to tell people, to, you know, in Clubhouse, I was doing lives on Instagram and I was making phone calls, doing Zoom meetings and just letting the word out there. And it was like very slow in the beginning. And then the last 3 days, that's when I raised the majority of the funds. So it was great. And we raised $10,000. And then also part of that is to get 500 books to children in Haiti. So 500 of these books. This is the book in Creole. Wait, no, never mind. This is the book in Creole. And then this is the book in French. And like I said, the Spanish version is going to be out soon, and I'm really excited about that too. But yeah, it was a lot of hard work. It was intense, but I'm really glad about that I had the experience that I did it.
Amen. Girl, listen, you need to do like a master class or like a coaching program literally showing people how to do that, because I think like I said, a lot of people don't understand, like I said, that business part, and especially when it comes to finances, because people think like, oh, I'm going to write this book and then put all this money out for this book. And really all you've done is paid your publisher. You're not making any money yet, royalties, because like you said, you have to market. Like, what are you doing to market this book? And a lot of people, that's where they fail. You know what I mean? They don't understand the marketing aspect of things. You know, media is a big, you know, portion of getting your thing out there. And I love how you went out on Clubhouse, how you were out there on IG, and, you know, you were doing Zooms, and you even got on the phone, like old school, just picking up the phone, like, hey, look, can you help support me? This is the call. I love that. And I think a lot of people need that kind of training. Because that really could help, you know, bring in some more revenue for your book, because I'm telling you, that's where people miss that. They miss that piece of it. And it's like when people can finally learn how to market and sell your book, that is when you're going to be successful. I'm not saying you're going to be a millionaire, but you can actually start to see royalties come in on your books. Like I said, I have a lot of people that are DMing, oh my God, I want to be to the next level. I'm trying to become a 6-figure author. I'm trying to become a millionaire author. That's fantastic. I want to too. But there's a lot of things that go into that. And a lot of it, I hate to say, is finances. A lot of these people are able to go and hire them a good social media marketer or somebody that can build them a great campaign, and they're out there doing ads and stuff like that. But a lot of it, like I said, it's just a lot of hard work and being willing to get on the Clubhouse, getting willing to do the ad, the lives, and set yourself apart. Like, what's different? So I love that. I really do.
Yeah, and one thing is, like, when you're doing something like that, like if you want to be an author, or if you're doing a campaign for funding, is that you have to get in front of people. You have to get in front of rooms that you did not think you would ever get into, and you just not be afraid, even if you don't think these people are gonna support you or give you anything, but go talk to them anyway. So that's one of my biggest advice that I could give anyone.
Hey man, I love that. I love that. And another piece of advice, and I might shoot myself in the foot for this, but this is so true. I see a lot of authors, and they'll go into these groups in Clubhouse, which is powerful, right? And you market your book, but the thing is, you don't want to just market your book to other authors, because other authors are literally trying to, they're trying to get a company. You're not going to necessarily care about your book because they're trying to get their book sold. You have to actually go and reach your audience. So actually go into groups that actually fit your audience, right? And then try to promote your books in these groups. Of course, follow the group's rules and things like that. But that'd be my other piece of advice. I don't know, that just kind of hit me.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
But also, I wanted to talk to you before we close just a little about your nonprofit, and then how people can actually give to your cause.
Okay, so I have this really big dreams to bring libraries to schools in Haiti, and also to build libraries in Haiti as well, and help help the other libraries that are already there and doing the best they can to help them, help support them, and help get them books, and especially books that are written by that have themselves represented. So my nonprofit, I'm in the process of still doing the paperwork and everything, but it's basically going to be about that. And I do have a GoFundMe where people can donate, and if let me see, if you search help a child in Haiti on GoFundMe, it will come up. I'm trying to find the so with that you can help us. You can donate either any amount will help. And what we're doing is just getting the words out there right now, and working with schools. I've spoken with many school administrators in Haiti, and they all love the idea of just giving us a space, and then we bring them a little library for the children to enjoy. So yeah.
Hey man, I love that. I love that. So is there anybody you would like to shout out on here, or
Yes, I would like to shout out my illustrator. He's also a Haitian American illustrator. His name is Rodney Sanin. I would love to shout out my translator, Jonelle Jus. He's also a great person to work with. And then also, of course, my editor, Naomi Dunson-White. She is amazing editor, and I highly recommend if anybody's looking for an editor, you can search her.
Amen. All right, so we got a minute left. Is there how can people connect with you, like on social media or through email, website?
Yeah. So on social media, you can find me at JudithAniqueFrancois.com, my full name. My website is judithsbooks.com. And then my handle on Instagram is Judith Anique Francois. And also my children's books Instagram is judithsbooks.com. You can find it. And Amazon, the book is also available on Amazon if you search it, on Barnes and Nobles, Target, a lot of online bookstores and things like that. So yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on today, Judith. It was so wonderful to have you. I would love for you to come back in the future and just talk more about your books and just, the calls and what else is going on. So just thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Well, thank you guys for viewing the Author Push Talk Show today. If you're interested in being a guest on our show, please feel free to reach out to me at my Gmail, which is breesmithglobal@gmail.com. Also, please go to our website with more up-to-date things to do with ministry, to do with the Author Push Talk Show, and other various things that we have on there, children's books. It's breesmithglobal@breesmithglobal.com. So sorry. And also check me out on Instagram. My handle is breesmithofficial. And you can also get a hold of me on Facebook. You can check me out at Bree Smith on my page, or you can go to the Author Push Media Services page. Once again, thank you guys so much for viewing today. Until next time, goodbye.
Bye.